Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, my goodness. It's cold. Welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay with
Steve
the
Jobs.
haircut. Steve Jobs.
Steve
No,
Jobs.
he doesn't wear this kind of
Doesn't
sweater.
matter. You kind of
No,
look like Steve Jobs. I
No.
know, you Apple lover, you.
No, actually, I'm not even a Microsoft lover anymore. And the
Not
things that they've
anymore.
been doing with Windows 11, but no, not Steve Jobs.
I'm sorry, folks. Put it in the chat. Doesn't he look at a glance, side turn your head, a little bit like Steve Jobs?
No. No. We're ready to listen, Milano.
I'll take that. Who's the boss?
He was the boss. He was
not
the boss.
Melissa Milano today, because she is cuckoo with her crochet.
See? Steve Jobs is gone.
Yeah, he died of blessing. He's dead. Clearly, you don't look like him.
He was also very rude. The truth is, he was a tyrant.
He was very
very demanding and very difficult and not nice, even to his own daughter. Like, so don't no. Find somebody else.
No, but you look nice today.
A new sweater and a new haircut, and this is what she turns into.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, is jumper not a word you guys use here?
Only if your car battery's dead. Then you use a jumper. You jump in.
Okay. Because that back in Blighty would be a jumper.
Okay, well, we're in Alberta.
Just checking.
Yeah, you can ask the chat. Heart if you know it as a sweater, because I know everybody knows it's a sweater. And a thumbs up if you know it as a jumper.
Jumper. Especially because it's knitted. A thick knitted sweater would be classed as a jumper. Oh, just wondering.
Not here. We go through this all the time, by the way, folks. All the time. She's got words for everything. And some of it's cute. Well, most of it's cute.
Most of it's cute. Yeah. Morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. It's cold today here in Alberta, but apparently Monday, it's gone from +1 to +4 to now +8, allegedly on Monday. So we'll see. But the cold snap is going to be done today. Single digit minus temperatures tomorrow and Sunday. And then, plus temperatures for Monday, which would be interesting.
Friday. We're freezing on a Friday.
Yeah.
But someday it will be warm. Always on Monday. Here we go. Yeah, folks, that wasn't the radio. That was me loud and clear with my jumper. Mm-hmm. And also another way we use jumper is on a bridge with depression.
Oh my goodness, Jason.
I'm not wrong. Around here, you say jumper, people will think of that or the car.
And I think that's also with across the pond too, sure.
What do they wear?
the jumper wearing a jumper. Sorry, we're not laughing at depression and things like that. A little bit, but not making light of it. I
laid it out. You T-balled it.
I T-balled it. Happy Friday, folks.
Yeah, we're in a good mood. It must be that well water again. It's flowing. It's going good.
Yeah.
And our Martin update is we upgraded the rear heat by changing it to an insulated duct, which changed it dramatically. It did a lot of work there. Definitely, we were losing a lot of heat through the duct then because I just adding an insulated one and bada boom, bada bang, we're good.
Yeah. Becky, yes, that's a word, but he's wearing a sweater. Our jumpers are a one-piece top-bottom outfit. Oh, to me, that's a onesie.
Oh,
our jumpers.
I've never worn one. I've never bought one.
Onesie?
Well, you bought me one.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never bought one.
Yeah, to be clear, I have not.
And I've never heard the term jumper. Here, audience, what's a bunny hug? If you're from Saskatchewan, you absolutely know what it is.
I'm sorry. What's
you would call it a hoodie.
The rabbits hugging what?
It would be called a hoodie everywhere else. So it's a sweater, or not even a sweater, just a hoodie with a hood. Mm-hmm. And we call those bunny hugs in Saskatchewan.
Why?
That sounds very prejudiced undertones to that. Why? I don't know. That's what they call them. And I grew up in Saskatchewan. A good chunk of my young years were in Saskatchewan.
So then how don't you know this? How don't you know? Like, why don't you research? Don't you have the curiosity to learn?
I'm going to install a camera at our dinner table so you guys can understand what it's like behind the scenes. This is just a taste. Just a taste. Especially when she's got gravy, it's flying.
Oh my goodness!
But no, I don't know why they call it a bunny hug, but it's definitely Saskatchewan based because everywhere else I haven't heard it. Manitoba, said Manitoba twice. Manitoba, Ontario, Alberta. But when I talk to people, they're like, yeah, that's Saskatchewan.
Oh, that's funky.
What's the chat say? What does Fashion Becky say?
Men don't wear jumpers. We call them bunny hugs because our parents called them. I like that answer there, Walking Campbell's cat. We call them bunny hugs because our parents call them bunny hugs.
Yeah, no, well, it was passed down. That's what I called them in Saskatchewan. And then when I left Saskatchewan and I used that term, I got the looks.
You got the looks?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, it's not. No, it's not a jumper. It would be a hoodie.
Mm-hmm. And yes, 886 is better than Steve.
Yeah, come on. I don't know why you compare me to Steve.
I'm thinking tired. Like this could be a Halloween costume.
It feels very racial. Just a guy in a black sweater or black top, and suddenly we all look alike to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. All.
And it's the hair too, right? The lack of the glasses,
the
white.
Beard.
That's racial profiling.
It is. But you nerds all look alike now. You nerds.
He wasn't much of a nerd. He was a marketing guy.
But he had the vision, and that he made Apple what it was, and now look at it today.
Arguments are, no, his staff had the vision, and he just pushed them. Anyways, because even Steve Wozniak was the first one to build the Apple, not Jobs. Look, I'm not a Steve Jobs fan. It was very sad that he passed early, but that was also part of his decision to not get assistance and help with that. And that's just, the story of Steve Jobs. Watch Pirates of Silicon Valley. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, there's been a few movies that have been based on.
Don't watch the Ashton Kutcher one. No, the son of Bruce Willis. Don't watch that one.
Yeah. No, but no, we watched because you, bless him, you were a nerd. You still are.
Yeah, past tense. Yeah, as a dude, I'm gonna let you know. You're born one and you die one.
Yeah. But yeah, us dating, stuff like that. All the type of movies, documentaries regarding Gates and Microsoft and Jobs and Apple. We've watched over the years, so I have quite the understanding of their history. And one of the sad things I felt for Jason, like when I first met him, like 20 odd years ago, he was quite a fan of Bill Gates because what he'd done in the tech industry. That's
where the past tense use of the word is very, very beneficial.
And so it's been sad for me over the years to become, I'm sad for you because this person that you looked up to for the tech industry, you're like saying, wow, what a nefarious two-sided character he is. Not has become, I think he's always been. And so I felt sad for you because, that was someone you looked up to, a visionary in tech. And he's quite the scary, nefarious man.
He may have always been that way, just building a little empire. I was the entrepreneurial side, the tech side, the change in the world side was impressive. As a young man and watching that, I even did a report, and my father at my wedding said I looked like him. Now, and it was very sudden. I was like, what's he into? What's he doing? Why is he talking about this stuff? Why is he doing that with the money? Why is he trying to stop population growth? Oh my gosh, he had multiple affairs on his wife, and they're divorcing. Like all of these things were sad to watch, and now we see the true him. He's evil. Yeah,
the first thing that tweaked my attention many years ago now was when he was encouraging behind Nestle to say that, hey, women in Africa, don't breastfeed your children, give them formula. And I was like, huh. Especially in some of the developing nations where they're incredibly poor and impoverished, and even if it was given to them, why would you if you could? A lot of women know this. If you can breastfeed, typically most of us we do because of the benefits. There's so many benefits with child. And so I thought that's interesting. So that was my first peek at like that doesn't seem right, and he was behind it.
He's behind vaccines early, so polio, pushing all of that stuff. And there's a lot more stuff coming out over the years now since COVID about vaccines in general. Melissa McCarthy, no, that's not her. What's that actress's name that was pushing?
Actress, I think you should use that term loosely. But I think it is Melissa McCarthy.
McCarthy, that's
McCarthy,
it. Not McCain.
No.
Yeah.
She was behind the whole because she felt her son, I think it's her son, developed autism from vaccines and was always vaccine injured that way. And she spoke about that, loud and proud for a very long time. And she went from being this Playboy bunny type person that, isn't she great and sexy, to wow, isn't she kooky? But
now is she?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll leave that subject for another day because there's a lot of people we talk to on that one.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, you did it again, but that's okay. We didn't put it on screen yet. We're getting there.
There we go.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, folks, not AI, not perfect, not professionals, just two people in a cold, well, actually not so cold, but out in the
not
cold
cold
Alberta,
in here.
Alberta cold backwoods.
Mm-hmm.
We're not redneck. We're not roughneck. We are us necks.
Crazy man.
Yeah, but we're having a good time and doing what we can to bring a show to you. And it's time for the news.
It is. With our backdrop.
And thank you to all the support that I'm not Steve Jobs. Boy, first thing in the morning, I got to deal with that. All right. So, yeah, we covered the Jeffrey Rath thing yesterday. That's where we left off. And yes, I used AI to try and merge these two pictures. These are two actual pictures. And it touched up Danielle in a way that makes her look a little different. Left Jeff Rath alone. Maybe AI says he's fine the way he is. You don't have to touch him up. But that story, spoke to Rath yesterday. He's in good spirits. He's still working on a bunch of stuff. And he's really interested in our conversation with Mickey Amory about the guns and the rights and why not have a provincial gun license. So his team reached back to me yesterday. Now we're trying to find a 1 hour block with him instead of a 30-minute block. We're trying to get that done and also overlap with Bruce Party's availability. So it's likely early next week we'll get that done, that interview for you. Oh, and another interview announcement just for a minute up this morning. Dallas Brody will be on the show this afternoon.
From 1BC?
Yep. So we will talk to her. I'm not sure exactly the time yet. It's just going to be this afternoon. They confirmed that she's available. We'll do it. And I'm just looking here. It's really early there right now. But we'll post it and have a great conversation with Dallas.
Cool.
That'd be cool. All right. So this post is getting a lot of attention. There's this person, Anna Murphy, who is, on the side of trying to complain about Danielle Smith's use of the notwithstanding clause to protect children, women, and parents. And it's just really odd that this person in this group is pushing so hard to remove these protections. First, the protection came through the laws. And then it got abused in the court, and then the notwithstanding got used to stop the abuse in the court on this. And they seem to be so upset about it. So I'm highlighting to this person, this is what you're supporting. And for the people that are on a podcast, there's a really young girl who's dancing. The young girl's innocent, having a good time. To the young girl, this is just fun, not anything other than that. The rest of the people in the room, including this person in women's clothing, provocative women's clothing, who is using money as if it's a adult club to the little girl. I'm trying to be very gentle here, but you can see it if you're watching. That's the person who's sexualizing this young girl. And all the adults in the room who are clapping and cheering, they are participating in it. The young girl's innocent. Okay, there's a lot of posts saying, I'm sexualizing this girl. No, I'm not. I think she's an innocent young girl who has no idea what's going on. Just dancing. It's everybody else in this room that I have an issue with. And so I say hi, the Anna Murphy, if this is what you support, you need to get help. And by the way, never responded to me and said, no, I don't support this. That's why there's an if there. Like, if you support this, then you need help. And then Danielle Smith is protecting children. You appear to support the sexualization of them. This is disgusting. Like, this shouldn't be happening, but it's been happening now for a good 10 years as this progression has happened. And Mia Hughes will talk about this at the January 10th event in Red Deer about the exposing gender ideology.
And then just as a side note, go to
I gotta keep the poster ready.
fundamentaltruths.eventbrite.ca if you want to go ahead and get your
and let's get this poster for you. And there you go. So a reminder, we're going to keep doing this for the rest of the month until the event. But Dr. Jack Mintz will join us along with Lathan Gray, Mia Hughes, as we just spoke about, John Carpe, Bathsheba Vandenberg, Bruce Party, Sean Buckley, and Teresa Buckley. And we'll have our audience participation Q&A session panel moderated by Nadine Wellwood. And we're working really hard to make sure that we have the prayer of Sean Ham with us. A little subtone there. It's interesting where Christianity and churches have gone recently, but we'll talk about this one a little bit later. But this will be in Red Deer as a location, and we will announce the location in the coming days as we are confirming the capacity and the location. But you can be rest assured it will be in Red Deer. All right, so let's get back to this now. This post, Alberta Independence Reason 1800. We made it.
Whoop, whoop.
Where's a little clap?
Unfortunately.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get a little clap. have a button for that. All right, we made it to 1800. An independent Alberta would be one of the best places on earth to start a family and raise the next generation. A generation that would be 100% Albertan, never subjects to a foreign monarch. Alberta once offered everything families everywhere strive for: a world-class incomes from energy, agriculture, and industry, safe, family-centered communities, affordable land and housing compared to most Canadian regions, and a culture that deeply valued faith, family, hard work, and personal responsibility. But Ottawa's growing influence has chipped away at those strengths. Independence would allow us to reclaim and strengthen them with our own tax system, our own education standards, and an Alberta-made constitution that protects parental rights, freedom of speech, and freedom of conscience. Imagine children who grow up under one flag and one allegiance, Alberta's. No divided loyalties, no distant federal government rewriting their culture from thousands of kilometers away, no crown or foreign authority above them. Just free people in a free nation building a future of their own terms. In a strong and free Alberta, our children would not be the last generation of Canadians. They would be the first generation of Albertans. And then I did an AI-generated image of a family, large young family, because we do want lots of new generations to grow up here in Alberta. Lots of love for this post, but also a lot of races.
No kidding. I know. I saw some of them. Your head is shaking.
And these are all people that are on the left because all they see is race. I literally asked AI for a large family in Alberta, a young family, and this is what it popped out. Nowhere in my prompt did I even add race.
Yeah.
But other people see nothing but race and then attack you for it. That's unfortunate, but you can go through the comments yourself and see it. But absolutely, we would love it if families were large and there were plenty of them and they were happy and healthy and growing. And and I think a new Alberta with the first generation of all Albertans, never under the monarch, would be a nice freeing generation and would understand what it is and keep it that way.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. And they would wear sweaters.
Yes, they would wear sweaters.
They would wear sweaters.
Fine.
Not a single jumper in sight. Okay, here we go. So we're back onto the Keith Wilson and Lusakic, Tom Lusakic or Thomas Lusakic debate. And Keith said he's looking forward because Ryan would be the host. He said yes to it. And by the way, there's another post saying Ryan would be not impartial. I'm like, okay, you get the host. You get the moderator. I don't think Keith would care. Keith would go anywhere to have this debate and have anybody moderated. He is not afraid of anybody. So go ahead and put it together. As far as I understand, it hasn't. Not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. So here are three things that are far more likely to happen in Alberta than Lusakic accepting to debate with Wilson. Number one, the Alberta Teachers Association replaces diversity, equity, inclusion with science, technology. What's the EA stand for again? Engineering and math.
Yeah.
So they replace the EI with STEM. Yeah, they're not going to do that. CBC reports the truth. That's more likely. Carney starts construction of a West Coast bitumen pipeline. He's not going to do that. But those are more likely than this debate. So as close to impossible one can get. That's what I think about that. I don't think it's going to happen. Carney, it's so weird when he does these kind of posts because he thinks he's bragging and helping Canada.
Right?
But it's quite literally admitting what's done. It's not so much tone deaf. It's he doesn't realize that he's admitting the problem they created. Tone deaf is when you say something you don't understand how it will be received, and it's like insensitive. This is an admission to the fault that he's doing. Yes. This is a smirk.
Mansplaining.
Oh boy, white Steve Jobs looking like mansplaining. So he put here, we're laser focused on making life more affordable for you. In budget 2025, we introduced measures to boost competition and innovation to bring down prices for Canadians and give you more choice. One thing he didn't add in here that he normally adds is the new government. Like he always puts that in his post, except for this one. But here we are. Here's a question, misdirection mark. How did life in Canada get so expensive while competition and innovation fall behind? Yeah. Oh yeah, Team Red. And for those that are listening to podcasts, it's Trudeau and Carney gleefully pointing at the post for Carney saying we did this. So you make the problem and then you are applauding yourself for partial solution, and it's not even a solution yet. It's a huge deficit budget. So no, this guy is not just tone deaf. He is insane. He's insane.
Yeah.
All right. So BertaProudDad is our guest today, and we're happy to have him. So mark your calendars. You don't have to. You're already here. So he's joining the show today, and we're very excited to finally connect. He has his finger on the pulse of Alberta, and is never afraid to share his rant. A couple people reached out to me. They say they don't trust him. I don't take those messages seriously at all because, well, first of all, I'm an evidence type of guy. Okay, so what? He really likes Danielle Smith, and that doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
And also, we get accused all the time. I get accused all the time. I must be a Fed. I must be a divider. I must be an agent. And I know I'm not.
Yeah.
So I know people just say anything. They just see what they want to see and then repeat it. So I'm no fan of that at all. And it won't sway me. I need more proof. I think he's doing some great posts. He definitely has a lot of pride in Alberta and the leadership. And we'll chat about it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I know he first came across my feed. I think it was during the teacher strike. That's when he started popping up in my Facebook feed. So I'd seen him.
Yeah, so I've seen him more recently as well after the AGM. He was there. I didn't cross paths with him. I was trying to, but it's super busy. And a lot of people that I do follow were very pleased to have met him. And I know that he actually had a meeting with Danielle Smith at the AGM. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting account to follow. And we align on a lot of things. So we'll chat. So Marty up here, he was listening to CTV. I don't know, maybe he tripped, fell on the remote, changed the channel, and just couldn't get up for a bit. Poor guy. Send our condolences. But I do this too. I'll certainly take a look at the legacy media and see what they're up to. So he said he listened to CTV news this morning for a few minutes. He didn't even give him much time. Every story had a lie or an omission of fact. Every one. Every mainstream outlet, it's legacy. Let's call them LSM now. Lame. Outlet in Canada does this now. There's no integrity in, it's got me on my edge when I see with the ... Canadian journalism. And then he created this sticker that says, warning, this story is one-sided. The author is from a partisan group. Real journalists are not funded by government. So true, Marty, I respond. It's honestly very disheartening as this is evidence of globalist control. Take a closer look at the Trusted News Initiative for the source. There is a puppet master above the media group called the Trusted News Initiative. Take a look at it. You'll understand. And of course, we had Glenn Blackett on yesterday. Very interesting conversation. We went to almost 2 hours, including our subscriber side. So if you want to be a subscriber and join the local side, first you can share this out. There we go. Like, subscribe, hit that little bell to be notified, especially when we're doing special episodes like Dallas Brody this afternoon. You'll get a notification and become a member because we have an extended conversation there. And yesterday was pretty cool. Glenn, I think he is starting to wake up a bit more. He's starting to get pilled.
He called red pilled. He did a post after the show saying, thanks for being on with all my fellow like red pill followers and things like that.
Yeah, because frankly, like he probably worked really hard to get his license and education, and he's learning a little bit more about what's going on. And we're not trying to convince him. We're saying, hey, well, when you see it happen in all the jurisdictions, and you've noticed the same words being used. What was it? Public. What was his term that he's concerned with? Not public influence. Come on, you were there.
I know. I'm thinking.
Yeah, the public, not necessarily the public good, but that's what it meant. Anyways, so he's recognizing this term all over the Law Society of Alberta, and it's also in other law societies, and he's very concerned. He's like, that's weird. Like, not really.
No, not really.
That's a top-down approach. You'll see that happen. It's coming from another place. That's public good. It was along those lines. The chat will get it. You guys are smart. But it was a very good episode, and I think we were pilling him a bit, getting him to wake up, because he said a couple of times that maybe he's a little naive, and maybe he is. But he's a really good source. He works with the JCCF and a good lawyer working with Roger Song as he fights his battle with the Law Society of Alberta for the mandatory education. And yeah, so check out that episode. It was a good one. City News Calgary did a post here. Latest, Danielle Smith is the first Albertan premier in 90 years to face a citizen-led recall petition. This reminds me of the Democrats down in the States when they did impeachment of Trump. Just doing the paperwork and starting the process, they considered that a win. Yeah. And they were highlighting it as, oh, look, we've impeached him. Well, no. There's a process.
You printed a form, you found the pen. Yeah. And you paid the fee.
And a couple Democrats said, well, he can never take that away. He's always been the impeached president now. Well, now they're going to say things like, oh, Danielle is now the one that's been recalled, even though not successful, can't actually get it done. But at least had a recall start. So you can see how they're framing it. Citizen-led recall petition. They even put the word petition in there. $500 and a mouse and a computer, and you can do this too. So this is not a win in any way, shape, or form. It won't be a win. She'll survive this, so will all the others. But here's what I'm annoyed with City News on. They're leaving out some important context. Just like Marty said previously, lying by omission. So I put out here, that's because the weaponization of the recall law Jason Kenney passed is also new. How about mentioning that the apparent how about mentioning the apparent coordination by the Alberta Teachers Association to recall all 44 MLAs who voted for Bill number 2? There's a website, operationtotalrecall.ca. City News is propaganda, not media. Shame on you. And then I do a screenshot of the website. And they literally say, organized recall campaign for all 44 MLAs who voted to use the notwithstanding clause to override and deny the charter rights of Albertans related to Bill 2. So why they leave that part out of the story? This is a coordinated effort to go after every single MLA that voted on Bill 2 with recall. And we're at like 21 or 22 now. So they're halfway there. And Danielle Smith is certainly the highest profile one of the group. But this isn't the citizens are mad at Danielle Smith. Be honest, City News. This is the Teachers Association with $1 million of funding from the BC Teachers Federation. And by the way, this is on the Alberta Teachers Association's website. So they're the ones that confirm that. $1 million out of the BC Teachers Federation to do a campaign against Bill 2. This is the campaign. Yeah. Okay. So no, this is not a citizen anything. This should be union-led, not citizen-led in the title. And it should also be clear that all MLAs that voted for Bill 2 are being targeted, and half of them have already had a petition as well. Thank you very much to Max from freedomcalendar.net. He had me on his show last night. It was a lot of fun. We were there for about an hour and a half. He's a very prepared interviewer. He has questions ready to go. It was a lot of fun to spend some time with him. And this is what we need more of. We need more people coming out to have conversations, interviewing each other, getting your questions asked. I will go on basically any show, and I've done that, including non-favorable ones, to sit there and answer their questions. And if you want to invite us, you can go to our website, scroll down to send a message, and we'll respond to you. Yep. And thanks very much to Max for having us on. And then he provided some clips, and the actual episode is on our channel. I want to end with this one, and then we'll jump to our guest. So Jimbo Bahumphrey. Did I get that right?
Yeah, seems like I'd say.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Yeah, his tides are turning. Posted this on one of my posts. So treaty lands remain treaty lands. They could remain so, or negotiate a new deal with an independent Alberta, a much better deal than being slaves to the government of Canada. I'm a status Indian, and many of us support independence from the liars in Ottawa. I do hear this message a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I do hear this message a lot. There's a lot of people who are First Nations, Indigenous people who say, absolutely, like, why in the world would we want to keep the Canadian agreement? Don't even like the treaties. They're repressive. I would absolutely prefer to sit down at a table and have a new deal. That's exactly what an independent Alberta would offer. They're going to be at the table. Everybody's going to be at the table, constitutional convention. And quite frankly, everybody should be treated equally. And there should be no need to treat any group differently than any group in a new Alberta. We'll all be prosperous and benefit from it. All right.
Public interest.
That's it. Yes, public interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those in the chat.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. The public interest. So he recognized that term's everywhere. And also Robert Song from China said, look, when they start doing that, they're taking control. All right. So now it's time to get to BertaProudDad. Very pleased. I haven't used your name, so I don't know if you want to use it or not. But good morning, Berta. How are you doing?
What's going on, everybody? My name's Lawrence. That's my name.
Yeah, there you go. You shared it yourself. I didn't want to be the one to break that news.
The teachers did it first.
My wife is claiming
in this outfit at a glance.
No, I'm not cool with that.
No,
I look like me. Anyway, Berta, Vincent, thank you a lot for joining us. Sorry I missed you at the AGM. There was a lot of people posting that they got to meet you. I'm very pleased to meet you. And I wish I had the chance, but super busy doing the media, and I'm sure you're running around doing your thing as well. So our paths will cross at some point, I'm sure.
100%.
So welcome to the show. Sure. Yeah, for sure. So thanks a lot for joining the show. I really appreciate it. And I think you're on vacation. You're kind of on the road right now. So thanks for making the time.
Yeah, I'm out seeing my grandmother and my parents, and just before Christmas here. So making sure they're all set up and okay for Christmas. And yeah, then I'll be back in Alberta soon.
Good stuff.
Awesome. And you have your mic and your camera on the road with you, so you're able to set up for this morning. So appreciate that. Let's go ahead and introduce you to my audience. I'm sure some of them know who you are, but some may not. Who are you, and what have you been up to in the last couple of years or so?
So COVID was what really got me started and fired up when it comes down to social media content creation. My wife and I, we were locked down during COVID. We flew in. We were one of the last planes in before they did mass lockdowns in Canada, and it really pissed me off. We had to sign at the border that we would stay in our house for 14 days. And I was like, no, I'm not signing that. And the border guards can get, right. And they're trying to press me into doing it. And I'm like, I'm not signing that. They're like, well, you're going to go to jail. And so I signed this document saying I was going to lock down for 14 days, but it really bothered me. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't lock down for 14 days. Signed the piece of paper, did my own thing, moved on with my life. But it really bothered me. So my daughter was on an app called TikTok, and it used to be Musical.ly before that. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm going to talk to people about, are they happy with this? Or are they not happy with this? And I'm just an Alberta dad with an opinion. My first name on TikTok was Quarantine Dad Life. That's what I started as, because they tried placing me into quarantine, and I just wasn't having anything of it. And then I started doing these videos, and I realized I'm not alone. There's a lot of people that are upset with what's going on in this country. And that's where it all started. I've always been interested in politics since I was 8 years old. I've always watched what's going on in the world, watched what's happening in my own country, in my own province. I moved to Alberta when I was 4 years old. I grew up in Hinton, Alberta, and I never left. I've just toured around the province since then. And I love my province. That's what this stems from. Alberta has put food on my table. It taught me everything that I know, and we have to defend it, and we have to stand up for it. And after being from 8 years old and watching, prime minister after government come in, there's been some highs and there's been some lows. But if you look at the last decade in particular, there's definitely been a lot of lows. And now we have to have tough conversations with people about how do we move forward for this, not necessarily for me, but for our kids.
Yeah.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So prior to COVID, how political were you? How tuned in were you? Were you red-pilled at that time, or were you focused on raising a family?
Focused on raising a family. A lot of people don't realize I'm also an addict in recovery, and I'm very open about this. I struggled for 20 years with alcoholism and 8 years with cocaine addiction. And I'm very open with that. It gets used against me a lot by the left. I'm proud, 5 years sober now, just around the same time I've been on social media. So I was distracted, and I kind of bring that into my content as well. Why do we have an opioid pandemic? Why do we have mental health crisis in this country? It's because when you're on drugs and when you're on alcohol and you're struggling with mental health, you don't care what the government is doing. You don't. And I can speak from that firsthand.
100%. And that's exactly why liquor and marijuana was considered essential services and stores. So they were open, but gyms and health food were closed. Parks were closed. They were boarding up basketball nets and locking the gates. They wanted a sick society. I think that's on purpose. And that was really exposed during the COVID lockdowns as well.
Sick and numbed down and dumb.
And they still are in that state. And a lot of people are getting into recovery like you did. Theo Fleury is a good friend. He's been on. He celebrated his 20 year just the other day. And it's definitely one of the things he's highlighted is when you're in that state, you don't care. You just worry about what's coming next for you. You don't even pay attention to outside of your own bubble. So congratulations, 5 years for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Friend.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I do talk about that. Big things coming in 2026 on that. We're going to start talking in juvenile detention centers, and just trying to inspire, the youth of Alberta that, you know what, you might be in a hole and you might feel in a rut right now, but there is a way out. And I'm trying to be that voice for that as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing the deterioration too in like BC, where they were decriminalizing, and now people are dying in streets, all over in streets. I think they're starting to roll that back now. Maybe that experiment failed miserably on them, thank goodness, and it didn't spread everywhere. But this is still something we're challenged with, even in Alberta. Danielle Smith is closing down the safe injection sites and those safe sites and turning them into rehabilitation and taking mental health seriously. Those are some steps in the right direction. I'm not sure if you've been to Lethbridge, but I spent 8 weeks there covering the Coots trial. And my gosh, all around the court, it's like terrible to see what was going on there. We even went to bring our kids to the park, and immediately somebody yelled out at us, "Don't bring your kids to that park. There's needles everywhere." Like, oh, wow. Like, that's just horrible. So hopefully with Danielle Smith, some of the changes she's doing around that, we will make some progress there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes out of the Smith government when it comes down to addictions and mental health. And I have addressed that with some ministers and her personally. She knows my story. I did get a chance to meet her at the AGM for about 35 minutes and tell her exactly who I am and what my background is and where I came from. She loved the story. She loved everything I'm doing, obviously for the province, but it really does stem down to how do we make this province better for the youth of the province. And because let's be honest, government takes time. Everything in government takes time, and we're all established. We set up our lives. I'm not saying people aren't hurting, but we're accustomed to it. We're driving our kids into a future of nothingness right now, of UBI, of complete socialism, of no purpose. And when somebody doesn't have a purpose, that's when they go to drugs and alcohol. That's what they do. They use that to cope. And if I can be that voice behind that, I'm going to be that. So there's a lot of cool things coming out of the Smith government, I think. I don't think they're all perfect, but it's going to be a trial and error process, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, Danny Rancourt did a really powerful presentation in Alberta. I think Injection of Truth 2 is what he did it on. And he was crunching the numbers, and he kind of mapped out in Alberta, every time we have an economic downturn, suicide, especially amongst males, go up. So there's a direct correlation between the economy of Alberta and the mental health of Albertans, and then ultimately the suicide rate. And when you see things like Carney specifically coming after our energy, Trudeau coming after our energy, Danny Rancourt was making the argument that they're purposely trying to kill people here in Alberta because they know this too. This is clear data. So we have to fight against stuff like that for the mental health of our young people, especially our young men.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And the stories are out there. You can talk to them. I'm ex-oil and gas, and you've seen guys lose absolutely everything. And as a man, I can speak for that. When you get into that, all you want to do is feed your family, but now you've lost everything and you're trying to find a way to cope. And the government knows this. They absolutely know to destroy a man's masculinity, you just take everything from him. And there's a lot of guys out there that are struggling right now. And if you're watching this, you don't have to cope with drugs and alcohol. There are other avenues you can go to, and you can even reach out to me personally, and we can set you on the path to success, because we need more strong masculine men out there to bring back Alberta. And they are out there. We see them every single day. We're watching them. We're interviewing them. But we need more. We definitely need more.
Now, there's definitely a lot of hope right now, because as we're having a conversation around independence, Danielle Smith is doing some things to open those doors a little bit wider, and ensuring that places like organizations like the APP can go ahead and get that referendum started. That's providing a lot of hope for people now. So that's very good. I'm seeing that everywhere. Let's go back to Danielle Smith. So Danielle Smith is somebody that you've covered quite a bit, and you had 35 minutes with her at the AGM. I'll actually honestly say one of the things I'm most impressed about Danielle Smith is her availability and accessibility. You're able to get her. You're able to talk to her. And that's something I think that they're working on quite well with Sam and the rest of her team to facilitate. So were you surprised when you first reached out, or they reached out to you, that you had the opportunity to sit down for 35 minutes with Danielle Smith at the AGM?
No, I wasn't surprised, because I knew for sure she would sit down with me, because I already knew her access was there, right? But I had never. People fail to realize one thing about me. I'm just a blue collar dad, husband with an iPhone and a very big opinion. right? That's literally all I am. You know, I sit there, I see something I don't like, or I see something I'm not quite sure of, and I make a video about it. I never knew that I would be sitting with the Premier of Alberta one day. That was not on my bucket list or even on my radar. But they obviously seen that I care about the province, and that's what they've told me. So my reaction to that was okay. I got 5 minutes with the Premier. That's what I was told. Come to stage right. We're going to give you 5 minutes. And I said, that's awesome. Like I'm like, that is absolutely amazing. What question can I ask the Premier in 5 minutes? Right. That's what I'm thinking as I'm walking down to the stage. I get there, they say, hey, is your name Lawrence? I was like, yep, that's me. And then one guy's like, that's BertaProudDad, right? And I'm like, you know, just getting used to just a guy with an iPhone. And I go into the back, and all of our security team is sitting there outside of the green room. And I look at them. I was like, hey, boys, any of you need jobs? The teachers have been coming at me pretty hard lately, and I've been getting some death threats. And they laughed, right? They laughed, and you know, they smirked. And next thing you know, I'm in the room with Danielle Smith, and we had a great conversation. And it was 35 minutes. It was not 5 minutes. And we just talked about everything Alberta, from everything where I came from through my addiction to where I am today. And you know what I think the future of this province, you know, could look like, not should look like. Like I'm not trying in here to be a dictator or a director. And then I'm really talking to her about what I'm hearing out there, because being a creator from Alberta, you know, I have a finger on the pulse just from my DMs and my comment sections of what Albertans are looking at. You know, the NDP love to comment on my stuff just as much as the conservatives, and you can kind of see exactly the division. There's a huge divide. It's a large divide in Alberta, just like every other province and even in the country. But I was just trying to express to her that, you know, I don't agree with everything you do, and I'm never going to. But at the end of the day, I really do appreciate your time and having me in here with you so you can listen to what I see Albertans are talking about. And she truly does listen. That's the fascinating part. I was a Danielle Smith supporter before I walked into that green room. But when you can look at your Premier in the eyes and actually see that she cares about the province, and it comes from the heart, you know, it's not a discussion like she's at a podium, like we all see on TV. This is a discussion with a fellow Albertan who really cares for her province. And that's what I got out of it. And I walked out of there saying, wow, she actually does care. So I stand behind Danielle Smith 100% today.
Fantastic. And yeah, we've had similar experiences, especially when she came on the show. There was no pre-vetting of anything. They didn't say, stay away from this or only talk about this. Quite literally, they said, okay, 30 minutes, go. And we had a great conversation with her. And she was very candid about the independence movement. She's never seen it larger than it is now. She thinks that the citizens are going to get their petition approved at some point, and the referendum will come forward. And she was also clear that she wants to make sure that the government doesn't bring this forward and is not putting their finger on the scale in any way, shape, or form. This should be the citizens' choice. And I appreciated that. There's a lot of people that want her to take a side and be vocal about it. I think that would be a mistake. We don't really want government influence in a citizen initiative like this. And if it comes out as a yes or a no without the government involvement, then we actually have the true pulse of Alberta at that stage. So I appreciate her position. A lot of my audience wants to hear her say, let's separate. But I don't think that would be a wise move. I would like to see the government stay out of it. And there's a lot that echo my sentiment on that one.
Same as me, Jason. You hit the nail on the head. A lot of people want separation tomorrow, want referendum tomorrow. And they also want Danielle Smith to come and draw a line in the sand. So what does the other side? So if Danielle Smith draws a line in the sand, referendum goes, she says she's a separatist, what does the other side get to say to that? Well, you know what? It was pushed by the government. This government is undemocratic. This government is people. I get it. We all want something, and we want instant gratification, and we want it right now. But the thing is, there's processes in place. None of us are new to government. Well, maybe some of you are, but when you look at the government over the past 50, 60 years, they don't do anything quickly. But Danielle Smith has been the best prime minister and the only prime minister that has been able to develop something.
That might have been a Freudian slip, because she won't be she's not prime minister yet.
Sorry, Premier. Sorry, Premier.
Then some people are going to clip that, like, oh, BertaProudDad is asking for her to be prime minister.
Let's do that. Let's clip that. Let's get that out there. I'm actually, so BertaProudDad.com, Danielle for prime minister shirts. Go get her. Just kidding. Just kidding. But the thing is, but
Best Premier for sure.
Danielle Smith literally the best premier to get this across the finish line, has given us every tool that we need to do our jobs. It's up to us as Albertans to do our jobs. She doesn't have to put a line in the sand. She doesn't have to come out and say she's for one thing or another. You have to look at how politics is played. Naheed Nenshi would have a field day if Danielle Smith came out. Mark Carney would have a field day. This would wreck negotiations with Ottawa. This would wreck negotiations with other countries if she came out with that. People, I understand it. You want Danielle Smith to draw a line. Danielle Smith has given us everything we need to do. It's up to us to get that done.
Agreed with that. And my wife and I were talking about this in the car yesterday. She's actually positioned herself in a way that if it comes back as a no, she can still be the leader. And if it comes back as a yes, she can still be the leader.
That's right.
Because not taking a side ensures that no matter what the outcome, we still have her as a leader for us. And what we don't need is an NDP government. Okay. So we really need to navigate this one well. Now, another thing that came up at the AGM and then after the AGM, CBC put out a false headline about her supporting basically Thomas Wasakic's position. The CBC headline said that she would campaign against Alberta sovereignty. And I had to reach out to her office, get a comment. They learned about the headline, got it corrected. We put this to bed. But it definitely stoked a lot of the I'm not sure if you caught my episode a couple of days ago, but Rob Smith, the UCP president, was on, and he said inside the UCP there is a division, but the division is angry independent and pragmatic independent, which, by the way, meant they're all for independence.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
So the division is like, how
Absolutely.
fast are we going to do this? Was basically all it was. But the angry independent group got really upset with that headline and started doing things like calling for a leadership review. Now, this fire has been diminished since then. Danielle has come out with her own statement. Even Jeffrey Rath backtracked and basically apologized for believing CBC. So we're seeing some, damage control happen there, which is good. But when that kind of thing happens, there's a knee-jerk reaction to a headline, and we, start throwing in the towel on our current leader. What do you think about that? Is that something that will assist or harm any independent movement?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm one of the vocal ones of Jeffrey Rath. I have come out and I've said that. Jeffrey Rath just issued a statement yesterday saying that Danielle Smith has her podcasters at her and her influencers, working for her and all this other stuff in a tweet that he did yesterday. And I'm going to be clear about one thing. I'm going to use your platform, to let everybody know I am not paid by anybody. Danielle Smith doesn't call me on the phone and tell me what content to push out there. That is not something that I do. I'm an Albertan who truly wants what's best for Alberta. And when I see somebody attacking the leader of the province who has given us everything we need to get this job done, you're going to get called out on it, because I have literally established my platform off of being a person that will see what's going on and put my opinion out there. And my opinion is my opinion. When people don't like it, they don't like it. And Jeffrey Rath has his supporters and they don't like it. You know what? A guy like me, I look at Jeffrey Rath and I can handle him. I'm ex-oil and gas. I'm a blue collar worker. I speak his language. It's something that, it doesn't affect me or bother me, but not everybody in Alberta is that. You're going after 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds. You got a huge demographic of people that you're trying to gain support. But most importantly, you're trying to garner the support of the Smith supporters. We need the Smith supporters to be on our side going towards a referendum. And you do not get that by attacking Danielle Smith, calling for a leadership review. You do not get that. The math doesn't math on it. It's not me sitting here attacking Jeffrey Rath. Nobody is attacking Jeffrey Rath. We're just simply asking, Jeff, you got to open up your eyes. You cannot get the support you need by attacking Danielle Smith. So please stop. That's all we're saying.
No, yeah, it's ironic that you said Danielle Smith doesn't call you and tell you what's up or anything like that. Jeff called me yesterday. He wanted to come on my episode that I'm planning with Honorable Mickey Amory, because he's going to come on for half an hour, 60 minutes or so, because he wanted to kind of debate him about gun stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, what is your question? And his question is, why do we have provincial gun licenses? Let's go that way instead of federal. I'm like, okay, I'll ask that to Mickey as well. But no, I know Jeff. Okay, I'm not as open about my personal relationship with him because it's rocky on a good day. But the public-facing side one, I do appreciate the effort that he's doing, because he's kind of corralling a lot of angry people And one thing I think you will agree with me on this one, Lawrence, is what this movement doesn't need is somebody to cross the line.
Yeah.
If you remember the convoy side of things, we were all worried about a snowball being thrown at the police or a black guy on camera. Like, let's stay away from a blocked ambulance. Like, let's make sure these things don't happen, because as soon as that does, it's all done. And it didn't. So the convoy side of things went really well. In here in Alberta, if somebody is just stupid and crosses the line, then that will really harm us. So what I think Jeff's benefit to the movement is he's kind of corralling that group to get behind him. So he's kind of vocalizing a lot of the frustration. And one thing I do want to give him credit for is he does roll back his comments when he realizes he went too far or was incorrect. So he's been on the show a couple of times to do that. But I do wish he took the 72-hour rule to heart. And that is, once you learn some information, wait a bit, confirm it, ask around before you blow it out there. But I think he's replicating, and he's an amplification for the ones who are really, really angry. And that includes some CA presidents, because some of the statement was true. A lot of them
not
were pretty
wrong.
upset.
There are some people not happy.
Yeah. So I'm going to give Jeff. Just go ahead.
Yeah, you know, he's right. He is right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not attacking Jeffrey Rath, right? I appreciate
No, it's not coming off that way.
Jeffrey Rath has done in the movement. I really do. But I'm a realist. And sometimes being a realist is a very lonely place to be, because you see what's happening out there. And I'm getting the comments, hey, I would totally support you and independence and APP, but this Jeffrey Rath guy. And these comments aren't one-offs. Right? These are coming in droves. They're coming in DMs, emails. You know, I set up this whistleblower at BertaProudDad.com, and I get hundreds of emails a day. But the thing is I appreciate everything he's doing. The 72-hour rule, we've all made that mistake, right? So I'm not going to hold that against him. I've made that mistake. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I'll see something, I will make a video just to get it out of my system now. I won't post it. I just get it out of my system, and it's over. Because yes, you know what? We all get frustrated. We are upset. Look at what the state of the country is in, and I want those people on our side to be, to be passionate. Because when you see Jeff, it is 100% passion. The man truly does care about Alberta, and I will never take that away from him or the time that he put in. But we have to understand, as a movement and as people, there's other people that put a lot of time in too, and did a lot of traveling around the province. And when we are working against each other, nobody wins there. Nobody.
And I've had people come up to me and say the exact same thing for months, even before APP kind of kicked off even stronger after the election. But I really don't believe that if we have a referendum and they're standing in that booth and they have the yes and no in front of them, I really don't believe they're going to say no because they didn't like Jeffrey Rath. They still want independence because they dislike everything else a lot more. So they may say that, but I don't think that's necessarily what's going to happen. And then go ahead and bring that comment up. We have trolls that come after us all the time. And here's probably my most famous one recently in our chats, Trevor Benson, who doesn't know what he's talking about half of the time. Some of the times he's bang on, but even a broken grandfather clock's correct twice a day. This guy, for comments like this, why won't Smith go on actual independent podcast? Clearly hasn't seen my show, because she's come on the show. I'm independent podcast. She goes on others. I've seen her on Sean Newman, and she talks and has conversations with people like you and Derek Smith and others. She's not afraid to come on independent podcast, and she has done it. So we have people like that are trolls. I don't even know where this guy lives, but he comes after Daniela hard, and he does it from behind a keyboard. He doesn't jump onto a podcast and talk the same way that he's accusing others of. But those type of people provide no push of the needle.
No,
it doesn't move the needle at all.
You're absolutely correct. And you want to know, they push something. They push the content. I love it. I love it when they come in and they say their piece. They think that they're hurting me. And you know this just as much as I do, Jason and Paula. We've been doing this long enough that there's no comment out there that is going to hurt us, right? You almost become immune to this. Write your comments, attack my children, call me ugly, call me whatever, call me stupid, call me whatever, make fun of my addiction. It all pushes the video. It all pushes what I'm putting out there, and we welcome it and we understand it. And if you have to do that from hiding in your little basement, I don't care. I'm still, the next story is coming out, and the story after that, and the podcast after that, and the interview after that. It's not going to stop me. I am immune to all of it. You're talking to a guy who wakes up to death threats daily in his inbox. And you know what? after a while, you just realize I made peace with myself. If somebody's about to come do something to me, I'm not stopping doing what I'm doing. And, let them have their frustrations and let them help us at the same time. I love it.
Yeah, and we're living rent free in their minds.
100%.
Thanks for tuning in to post your comment.
100%. And we know exactly what that's like. And when you said you're a realist, you're a realist when both sides get frustrated with you at some point. Okay. When both sides are annoyed with you, like, oh, you shouldn't say that about that. Or why aren't you harder on that? Or why? Yeah, you get pressure from both sides. That means you're doing the right thing. The Kalistani movement is something I covered. And I got death threats from India and Kalistani supporters, both sides. So I'm like, okay, great. And I absolutely get called names all the time. One day, in the same day, I got called a racist and a race traitor, which is both ends of the spectrum. I'm like, okay, because my wife's not white. And they're like, oh, well, you're a racist. I'm like, how could I be? I'm in a mixed race relationship. Oh, then you're a race traitor. I'm like, okay, have a nice day. You guys can say what you want.
They just make up anything.
Yeah, no, it's just silly nonsense, and it happens all the time. I posted a picture that included white people, and suddenly I'm calling for the race change of Alberta to only be white. It's like, there's just crazy people out there, like, just nuts.
Yeah,
but you're correct. You need to have thick skin.
It's entertaining. Let's just say it that. And you know what? I'm not diminishing any of the trolls' voices because I believe in freedom and you're free to have those voices. But what I like to tell people is you're not free from consequences. And here's the big one. Right now, Peter Guthrie apparently is looking to see if I'm paid by the UCP government. So he's using his little minions out there to go out and ask questions and see if I'm paid by the UCP government. So I challenge them to keep talking and keep doing it, because you got to remember, freedom of speech or freedom of expression doesn't mean freedom from consequence. So, if you want to go out and slander, defame, name, shame, do it all, right? And at the end of the day, we'll see who has the last laugh on that. I've never been paid. I won't be paid. I don't want to be paid. That's the beautiful thing of not being paid for your content, is I'm not handcuffed to anything. I can put out what I want, when I want, no schedule. And it's just me, a phone, and an opinion. And the fact that, and I did a post about Peter Guthrie, this is probably 2.5 weeks ago. I said, Peter, you're going to spend millions of dollars trying to go after people to see what they're doing. And all I'm doing is spending my time.
That's right.
Like that. Yeah. He didn't like that.
And Peter Guthrie is an MLA, isn't he? Which means his paycheck is from the government, and I believe it's from the current government. So doesn't that make him a government employee and paid for by the current government?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Peter Guthrie, the Alberta Party, and then with Bill 14 coming out, we get it. Same day Bill 14 comes out, now he's got to be like, oh, it's because of these influencers. It's never them. Right? It's never them why this is. It's oh, Danielle Smith must be paying people to say certain things and script them. And no. We're not mainstream news. But these are the same people that turn on CBC every single day, watch it, and they get paid to say the news and narrate the news and drive public opinion. But they think we're doing it. No, we're not doing it.
No, Freud said that that's called projection. When they would do something, and that's why their mind thinks, so they project it onto other people. He wants to find influencers that he can pay that will be favorable to him. So he thinks that this is how it all works. It doesn't. We don't receive a paycheck. The only thing we get out of the Danielle Smith office is access. So we're able to ask questions and get responses. That's it. And in no way, shape, or form are we paid, and nor will we. We don't even take sponsors on our show just because we want to make sure that there's zero influence on us. And it gets us in trouble sometimes, our post. I get in trouble sometimes. My wife calls me Kurt all the time. But I prefer that, because then I'm raw, I'm real, I'm not AI, and I'm certainly not paid. I have been critical about Danielle Smith, and I've also been supportive, because the way I look at it, and I think you're exactly the same way, is we judge a person on their actions. We don't necessarily say we love or hate. It's like, well, let's see what you've done. Okay, well, that one, we like it. That one, I'm iffy. That one, don't like it. We judge a person on their actions, and Danielle Smith, by far, and I've had many conversations across Canada, is the best premier in Canada right now. Granted, it's not a very high bar when you're looking at Ontario and BC and other places, but she is the best premier in Canada right now. And I don't know anybody that would do better at this stage. A lot of people say they would.
Exactly. At this stage,
I don't know anybody that would. And I've met and talked to basically every single public profile leader in Alberta. all of them, Cam Davies, David Parker, Mitch Sylvester, all of them. And I think Danielle by far is in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. She truly is. Naheed Nenshi comes out, I believe, yesterday and says he's ready for a snap election. You know, he will defeat this government. No, he won't. And that's the NDP delusion and division we talk about, right? Is, you know, the UCP are a bunch of realists. Just look how the party is set up, for instance. And this is why I'm a UCP supporter. It's a grassroots party. We get to go to a convention. You were there. I was there. We've seen how this stuff is run. It's the citizens that actually, the people, the members of the party that actually get to have a say in the room. And they were all sitting there. They were all voting yes. They were all voting no. We were all making decisions. We elected a board. The board came in, and that's the board. And then we move away from there. It's one of the only parties in the country that operates the way it operates. And we want it that way. When you look at the other side of the aisle with Naheed Nenshi, all he has is slogans, like they're not even slogans, they're wedge issues that literally he's trying to break down the government and convince a small sector of people that he is the voice of the people of Alberta. And he's just not. Small wedge issues don't govern. And what people don't understand about Naheed Nenshi is he doesn't govern. He doesn't have any time of his his calendar to go out there and have to govern anything. He's in attack mode 24/7 and gets to attack. On the other side of the aisle, they have to counter the attacks and the BS that are coming their way, plus govern, plus actually do their jobs as ministers and MLAs and the premier every single day. And they're doing a very good job of it. It's all keywords and buzzwords on one side with Naheed. And he actually does truly think that he's going to win an election in Alberta right now. And that's just not possible for the NDP party, I don't think.
No, and the more he talks, the more the ATA attacks, the more these recalls are being done, the more it's helping people wake up to what the NDP side is doing. They don't like democracy. They're not favorable of democracy. They want dictatorship. They want control. And Alberta's not going to make that same mistake twice. So no matter what happens, I think everybody will rally behind Danielle Smith in an election, whether it's the snap one or the one in 2027. We're going to get there. And I really think she does favor the fact that we're going to have this referendum. I've asked her directly this question. And this Trevor guy, he's just full of it because I've asked her hard questions. At the AGM, I was part of the press pool that asked a question after her keynote. My question basically was, you said that you are following the mandate you were elected on. Very clear. That was a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. And if that mandate changes through a referendum for independence, would you follow that mandate? And she made it very clear, get there. Get there. Because if she's going to be this firm on a mandate where the tides have changed over the last couple of years, people are pushing far more for independence than they were 2 years ago. If she's staying this firm in the face of that, imagine how firm she's going to stay if we bring back a new mandate for independence. Because she's going to have to stand up against Ottawa, BC, other places through that process as we transition to our own nation. And that's the kind of leader I do want. Granted, like you said, we don't agree on everything. Yeah. There's certain things that I don't agree on, but I understand that she's the premier of Alberta, which means all Albertans, even the ones that didn't vote for her. So that means sometimes I'm not going to agree with some of the things she says or does. But what kind of leader do you want? Do you want somebody that will just move every single day when the wind blows or a poll is taken? If you want that, you should have voted stronger for Pierre. Yeah, because he would have given you that. But do you want a leader that stays firm on what the mandate is that's been given and is open to changing the mandate? Then I think we got that one right now.
I just want to highlight something. So there's a comment earlier why...
You're going to highlight that the Paula's the best co-host one, right?
No.
I saw that.
But there's a comment from Bowie with regards to BertaProudDad and Jason saying how they support Danielle Smith. And the comment is why? Because she's doing what you want. I'll be clear. She's not doing what I want. However, I do appreciate that she is the best leader that we have. And like we said, during this time, I think she's the strongest leader that we have to take us through. We do have to be patient. This is not going to happen right away. It's not going to be immediate. Someone put in the chat earlier, is the referendum coming October 2026? Why so long? Unfortunately, things take time. And
9 women can't make a baby in a month because
exactly. So things don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of MOU 15 years time, but I'm certainly a fan of it. We've got the right person leading us right now. We may not be happy with everything, but I think she's the strongest leader, certainly the strongest leader in Canada, and the strongest leader we have to help us through these next few stages where we will get a citizen-led referendum and we will have the opportunity to have our say.
And I do want to, comment back to that comment. It's kind of not offensive. I'm not offended by it, but it's insulting to think that I'm easily swayed just by somebody doing something I like, and that's all it takes for me. I'm far more judgmental and critical as a whole than just one thing that I like is enough to make me sway, or dislike is enough to make me sway.
We do have to recognize, no matter whether we like it or not, and clearly I know a lot of us don't like it, things do take time. Just because we think, oh, but you know, the people want this, we should be doing it tomorrow. It doesn't. It just flat out. It simply doesn't work that way.
At the end of the day, we've had these conversations with friends of ours.
Oh yeah.
As we go through the processes, check off all the check boxes, get it done. It's going to be about 9 months to get to there. At the end of that, it would have been done the right way.
Yeah.
And when it comes back as a yes, one of the things that they can't say is we rushed it through, we forced it through. It happened the way citizens wanted.
Yeah, and I think I use the term, for every step we take, every hurdle we get over, every barrier we break through, we've got to do it the right way, the correct way, so it's not thrown back at us that it wasn't, and that becomes then another barrier or hurdle.
And you wouldn't want the NDP in power that can force things through quickly like that, big changes like that. So last comment here, and then we're going to jump to our private area and have some more candid conversation. But I just recommendation to Trevor, StreamYard.com. Start your own show. Go ahead and do that. Send an invite to Danielle's office. She likely will make time for you. You can ask all the questions you want. Do that, and then have your own platform. I had her on. I asked her tough questions. She didn't shy away from a single thing. So I absolutely support the fact that she's not accountable, which she is. It's something that we're working a lot on, but she's approachable. We can get her on. So go ahead and do that. Any final comments to Alberta before we jump over to our supporter section?
Well, I just want to briefly touch on that comment real quick. It, like you said, doesn't offend me one bit. People need to understand politics, though. Politics is exactly what it is. You support a party that has most of your values. A party will never have all of your values. And I can tell you right now, the NDP and the Liberal Party in this country hold none of my values. There's very limited amount of values that stand with me. So that's why I'm a conservative. Danielle Smith is not going to hit everything 100%, nor when I vote for her or I look to have that party in power, do I know that's going to happen? Right? This type of thinking out there that they have to do it 100% all the time that's not politics. That's not politics. That's no way to govern. We have to have debate. We have to have a discussion. But what we're seeing in the Alberta legislature right now is no debate, no discussion. It's just Danielle Smith tries to protect kids. You guys hate the kids. You guys are fascists. You guys are this. Well, what do you mean? The kids need to go back to school. Kids have rights to an education, or we just forget that. Right? The deal was a good deal. No teachers starving in this province. So put the kids back in school and let's negotiate a contract. Let's put something in place. Let's see what's wrong with our school system. No, the NDP wants a blanket whole package that we can fix the entire school system. Like, no, this is not how this works. This is not how we govern. And I know that Danielle Smith is not going to hit it 100% all the time. And I can tell you right now, Naheed Nenshi does not align with my values. I will never support the man. Sorry, but if that means I'm a guy with an opinion and an iPhone and I get to call his ass out every day, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Tough luck. And that's all I have to say on that.
You're awesome. I appreciate that a lot. And anytime that you believe in your leader 100% and they do no wrong, that's called a cult. That's not a political party. If you believe your leader 100%, that's a cult and there's something wrong with you. We are constructive criticizers, and I think that's why we were able to build up the respect from Danielle's office to go ahead and have her on and have access to her, and we're going to continue to do that. And again, sometimes we're wrong, and I have to correct things the next day. Yeah. But I'd rather have an honest conversation with my audience than a filtered one. And there is nobody that pressures us. Not even my wife can pressure me. She knows this. And no, I don't look like Steve Jobs.
I think was that the greatest insult ever? We're getting called a racist or a race traitor.
I can handle those ones. Don't call me a Steve Jobs. He was brutal.
Call me Steve Jobs, he said.
Yeah, but hang on, okay, because we're going to have a few more questions with our supporters, because that's how we keep our lights on. They're good people, and we'll bring you on in just a moment, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All right, folks, there you go in the public. Trevor, go start your own show. Sincerely, I think you would do very good at it. Your opinion does matter. You have a strong opinion, and it's very critical, and I do support that. This is why there's no attempt to stop you in our chats. I do think that your opinion matters, and you should keep voicing it. I would recommend, though, that you get a show and start getting out there, because The best thing about our show is we learn so much from our guests.
Oh, for sure. It's been fantastic. We learned a lot from our guests and even our people in the chat.
Yeah.
It's great to hear the difference of opinions. And it's just food for thought at the end of the day. When you hear a different perspective, different from yours, or even a slightly different from yours, like, I never considered that. Take it and run with it, quite honestly.
For that, you get one of these.
Thank you.
Just on the button. Okay, so folks, have yourself a wonderful day. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share. This is a fun episode. And if you want to become a member, go to thelevineshow.com. And don't forget our event, January 10th in Red Deer. It's a full slate of great speakers. So grab your tickets. It makes a great Christmas gift and a stocking stuffer.
Yeah, quick reminder here, fundamentaltruths.eventbrite.ca. Go ahead and get your ticket there.
Everybody take care. Have a wonderful day. Love you all.
Have a great weekend, everyone. See you Monday.
Actually, you can come back for Dallas Brody this afternoon. Yeah, going to be Dallas Brody, the leader of 1BC. Conversation. Take care, everybody. Love you all, and God bless.